Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin Cash. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, let's jump straight into the TA. So as you can see, we have two Fibonacci retracements here on the chart. We're going to remove one and we're going to focus on the larger one. The larger one is set up with the swing high printed all the way back in May of 2021 and the swing low printed in either July or late July, exact same lows. So we broke down below the first fib level and then we back tested it as resistance, and then we were down on our way to the 1.618 and even below that to the second fib level eventually, taking us down to 95-ish dollars. And from there, we consolidated for multiple months, and now we're seeing a little push to the upside, almost getting us to the 1.618 resistance level. So let's zoom in and see what's going on here. So as you can see, we do have two blocks below us. Now this red support block was there for a very long time, and we did manage to back test that as support here in March. We also back tested this yellow support trend line as once in December, at the end of December. So I think the last video that we had on Bitcoin Cash was back on December 27th. And just a few days later, we had that bounce from the yellow support trend line, which took us all the way up here. And that was a 60% move to the upside. This was a pretty good move during a bear market. So this was a nice attempt to make some money. If you were targeting the resistance block above, you could have taken 20%. Obviously, if you were targeting this resistance level here, $1.33, you could have made approximately, here we go, 37.9%, which is pretty good in my opinion. Right now, we're above the 20 EMA on the daily chart. That's pretty good. But I think with a potential Bitcoin pullback that we might have because of the inflation data, because of the FOMC meeting, and because the Fed is really trying to build a hawkish scenario for the financial markets, then we could see a pullback into this red support block at least, if not back to the yellow support trend line and at $95. But if you have your buy limit orders set up in advance, then you should be able to grab those prices there with your limit orders. Now, if we take a look at the other fib that I had here and we remove the larger one, as you can see, so here we have the swing high set up in July last year, and the swing low was set up in July last year as well. And what ended up happening is we actually broke below that low. So this invalidated the fib retracement. I haven't looked at the chart, to be honest with you, for a very long time, so I'm just seeing what happened here. But we did have a nice bounce off the first fib level once again. We ran into the 0.236 just like we did back here in August, and now we're pulling back down to the 786. So this is pretty good. This fib is still valid, so we probably are going to be keeping this on the chart, even though we had this little fake out here in November. We're going to ignore that for now. So yeah, you had a nice bounce here from the 786, already moving up 20% in a few days. That is pretty good. But if I was starting to dollar cost average into Bitcoin Cash, I would not be doing that at the very moment. I would wait until we pull back into this golden support block, and I would set up some buy limit orders in the red support block. Personally, I don't have any Bitcoin Cash, and I'm not planning on getting any tokens. So taking a look at the daily RSI, as you can see, we did have a nice pullback here in March below this support block that we had. So this was a little fake out that we got all the way back into the oversold, and now we're pushing back to the upside. Potentially, we could run into the yellow resistance trend line here, just like we did the last few times. As you can see, back in July last year, back in November last year, we also back tested it as support in January this year, and then we broke below, broke above, and now we're back below once again. So potentially we could be running into this as resistance. That could be a nice area to take some profits. If not, I would still target the support block below us as a good indicator of an entry, because every single time we had a bounce from that area, we saw a pretty strong move almost always to the overbought. So let's switch over to the Binance chart as well. And before we continue with the video, guys, I quickly want to give a shout out to everyone who has joined my Patreon. Thank you very much. And if you want to become a part of the Patreon and, get access to a lot of exclusive content, such as podcast episodes for patrons only, my trade alerts, my entire portfolio. I share everything that I buy and everything that I sell. If you want to leave some requests, we can take a look at your projects on Patreon. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. I try to do daily updates and daily posts in there. So if you want to try it out for free, you can do that as well. There's a 7-day free trial, so you can do that and let me know what you think. Let's get on with the video. So taking a look at the weekly chart on Binance, as you can see, we have a Fibonacci retracement set up from the swing low in January this year and the swing high in May of 2021. And as you can see, this is a pretty large fib. So we have our 1.272 target almost at $3,000. Now, I do want to say that I don't really think Bitcoin Cash is going to be going much higher than the previous all-time high if it retraces to the all-time high. And I don't want to sound like an ultra bear or something, but I just don't see the incentive of Bitcoin Cash moving above its previous all-time highs, because there is no reason for it to do that. Like, there is no demand. I know there are a lot of holders, a lot of long-term holders, especially people who bought back in 2017 and 2018, but you have to understand that there is no demand to buy this. Like, why would you have Bitcoin Cash and not, for example, Cardano or not Ethereum, right? So there is no incentive to buy this token unless you are religious with a project, or you really like the project, or you want to support it, or whatever. But I don't see us, breaking necessarily $1,430 in the next year or so, or in the bull market for that matter. So yeah, I would just be conservative about that and not have these moonshot ideas of Bitcoin Cash getting to $5,000 or something, because you want to sell at a point where you are in profit and where you can exit your position. Because if you are sitting here during the peak of the bull market and you think it's going to go to $5,000, well, then you're just going to end up sitting through the next bear market. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be. So just be careful with that. Obviously, I'm not trying to scare anyone away or anything like that. Just be smart about your targets. Now, if we take a look at the support levels here, so obviously we have the support block from $105.5 down to 87, and we just retested that block last week, as you can see, with this pullback that we had all the way back there, and we're already up 22% almost. So this was a nice buying opportunity. We had this strong wick, but lots of buying pressure here. As you can see, this shows that there's a lot of interest in Bitcoin Cash at these prices. So that's good to see, obviously. And I'm not saying a pullback down to $97 isn't possible. So potentially be on the lookout for that with buy limit orders. Also, the target from this falling wedge was perfectly met. As you can see here at $127, this was perfectly met. We're actually $140 is the technical target from this falling wedge, because that's where it was created. And we saw a very nice move to that target there. And then we saw a pullback. And yeah, technical target carried out. That was perfect. So our major next target really is going to be this 55 EMA on the weekly, as well as the 0.236 Fibonacci level. Hopefully we can break above that moving into August. That would be very bullish. But like I said, if we have any flash crashes, we have any bearish news, the Fed tries to dump the markets, we could be seeing moves below $100 once again for Bitcoin Cash. Hopefully we don't drop below this low that we printed in December, because that would be negative. We don't want to be losing a major key support level. But besides that, Bitcoin Cash is doing pretty good. We're printing higher lows and we're printing locally higher highs as well. So this is looking good for continuation. And if I bring out a fib retracement here from that level to that level, as you can see, we have a 1.618 target at $177, which is potentially where we're going to be sitting at in the next few months if we continue breaking above this August 2022 high, which is very important for us to do. So if you break that August high and you continue with bullish momentum, I would say it's more likely that we've printed the bear market bottom for Bitcoin Cash. And that is pretty much everything. If I missed out anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to check out my Patreon, Twitter, Telegram, Discord. All the links are down below, and I'm going to see you in the next update. Goodbye.